Is the public charge rule officially dead? What did the Biden administration announce this week? Listen to Immigration Wednesdays to find out. Hi, I'm Jeff Peek. And this week we heard an announcement from the government, from the Biden administration, saying they are no longer going to fight and appeal the court holdings and rulings trying to limit, suspend, or cancel the formally announced public charge rule. As many of you know who are around immigration processes or are filing for your family members, the Trump administration put in new rules trying to extend and further define who is a public charge. Public charge goes way back in immigration law, basically saying we don't want to let poor people or people who can't support themselves into the country. Well, over the years that was somewhat defined, but most of the part it was left open to a lot of interpretation, a lot of discretion on the part of immigration. And the Trump administration really wanted to put some teeth into that, make it very, very difficult for basically poor people or people who don't have means or financial resources to come in the United States. And so they started asking for things to prove that you're not going to be a public charge, and way more than they ever asked before. Of course, you've always had to have a sponsor who showed how much they made, maybe sometimes a co-sponsor, but the Trump administration was going to look at your assets, your holdings as an immigrant, if you have insurance, if you have health insurance, whether or not you have a good credit score, and a bunch of other stuff that was going to cause a lot of difficulty for people who don't have those kind of assets. And so a lot of us lawyers, immigration, were anticipating some problems, a lot of denials or some delays. A lot of our clients were having to spend money they wouldn't otherwise had to spend in previous years getting health insurance and trying to clear up credit scores and those kind of things. But this new announcement basically says the Biden administration, the government of the United States, is no longer trying to implement that rule, and they're going to sit by the decision of the court, the federal court, that issued a ruling on that, a final order, basically saying the public charge rule is dead. So what does that mean? Public charge rule is gone from the Trump administration. We go back to the 1999 rules that have been in effect the last 22 years, basically saying make sure your petitioner has enough money or a co-sponsor to sponsor the person coming in. And that's going to be a big help to a lot of immigrants, a lot less paperwork, a lot less legwork on the part of the attorneys having to prepare those applications. And it's going to be good all around, I think, for American families and immigrant families. So that's the news from today, Immigration Wednesdays. I hope that helped you. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to Peek and Tolan. We'd love to explain it to you or help your family out. Okay? Have a great week.